Thank you for taking time out with Premier Sports Officials Association. This week's basketball training topic will be over game management. And what we did to produce this video is we took a boys freshman basketball game and we mic'd up myself officiating to show examples of preventing situations, foul threshold in a game, communication skills with partners, with players, with coaches, and then dead ball officiating. So now let's take a look at the game film from beginning to end to see how, as an official, how much work there is within a game that most people aren't aware of, and now you, as a basketball official, can put into your games for the remainder of the season. So right before the tip, we have umpire 1 checking with the game clock operator scorebook that they're ready to rock and roll. Referee is having all players start the game legally equipped, shirts tucked in. As we stated in previous training tapes, setting that tone early in the game is going to prevent illegal equipment throughout the game. And then the referee points green, white. This is really important, especially in extra period game. Make sure they are going to the correct basket to begin the game.
Stay centered on the circle. Let me get ready. Beautiful.
And so, right here is a unique situation to begin the game, and that's positioning and mechanics. So we have the tip.
Beautiful.
Go to green. So now the possession arrow will be going towards white. Since we don't want to get in the way of the play, all right, quick turnover. And now my partner does a phenomenal job of just going across the court. So you're not going to see that all the time, but court positioning in the beginning of the game, officials, find a spot on the court so you do not get in the way of the play. Your partner can adjust. Now we're going to have our first judgment call of the game.
Block. Right here.
Resumption of play.
White 35, moving forward, block.
And now what we are doing with giving the story, all right, we gave the preliminary signal of block. We are turned towards the coaches. And since the white coach is right there, we are letting that coach know why 35 was called for a block. Moving forward, initiating contact with the hope that coach now can coach number 35 not to do that. And now these players on the bench also heard why it was a foul. This next thing is very, very small and subtle, but you're going to hear myself say the word ball before I pass it to the inbounder. Why? Because that inbounder is going to be looking at their teammates. I'm giving him a signal that the pass is coming so that ball does not go off his foot or is muffed onto the court of play and an accident happens. So I'm using voice to let that player know the ball is coming. So this is the hot potato.
Hands off.
Boom. Hands were on. Using the voice of saying hands off. Hands were immediately removed. So therefore we prevented. And also now the players are knowing that we are looking at that hand contact. Preventive officiating using voice to prevent situations from escalating. We have a potential reach on this play.
Made contact, but did not impede normal basketball movement.
All right, so we are saying, yes, in my mind, I saw the contact, but I'm giving myself the explanation in my mind why I did not call a foul. So if a coach did ask, why was that not a foul? I'm going to say, in my judgment, your dribbler was going to pick up the ball anyways. It wasn't the contact that prevented him from continuing to dribble. So now later in the game, another foul on the other side of the court.
Two hands. Green 5, stopping the dribble with two hands.
So once again, it is reporting while giving the story. And as we learned in last week's training tape, 2 hands on is an automatic foul. Where the 1 hand on, we could use hands, hot potato. They take that hand off, no foul. But 2 hands, stopping, affecting the dribbler is an automatic hand check foul.
20-foot line. Straight up, ball.
So now we're talking to number 23 here, reminding them straight up, do not reach over the plane. We're going to say that 28-foot line, so now that player starts in the right spot. That helps us as officials to have an imaginary boundary line 3 feet of that 28-foot line. So by rule, they can move the thrower, but they must keep 1 foot in that imaginary 3-foot box. Another thing, the trail official, we bounce the ball when it's sideline or end line out of bounds. We hand it baseline out of bounds underneath the offensive basket. We're going to bounce it so we could work backwards to box in all players. If we're so close and we just hand it to number 20 here, we're not going to be able to effectively officiate these two players, and a potential backcourt violation. Bounce it on the sideline and back up to box in players. So on this play, we're going to have a judgment call of contact and verticality. And yes, I am literally saying this in my head throughout a game and giving myself a reason why it's not a foul. Let's listen in.
Vertical and jumped. Offensive, they were supposed to do, stop and or change direction.
And the basket went in, and the contact did not put either opponent at a disadvantage. Play on. We're going to take a look at this call and talk about crew consistency now. So we have a foul, moving forward. Same exact matchup now on the very first foul call in the game. And that's the importance of voicing the story. So not only did the coaches hear it, but my partner heard it. So now a different player, a different official, same behavior, same result. Foul, moving forward, contacting the opponent. So now we're going to have a potential travel. And the green coach is going to be right by the sideline where the potential travel happened. So number 1, this was a play of interest for myself I wanted to see on film. Yes, I had a judgment on the court. Now I want to see what I said to the coach. Was it correct?
Left foot stay down.
So now that I saw the video, what I saw was correct. And now the coach will remember exactly why I did not call a travel. So a lot of time officials, we talk about building rapport. If a coach asks or states travel, reach, over the back, just give them a simple reason why you did not make the call, because they do go back and look at the film as well, and they always remember our words. So I gave the coach left foot stay down, go back to film. Well, his left foot did stay down. Now, next time that coach sees me, it's just a little bit more trust that coach has in me because my words matched with what the film showed. This next segment of video is to show how we would have a marginal potential foul, but we passed on it. But since we passed on the marginal, let's talk to the player so they do not continue to escalate and push the envelope. So we have a potential back down by number 34, displacing the opponent, gaining an advantage, getting a better angle at shooting the basket. Right now, this game has been clean. It's not overly physical. We don't have a negative reaction from the white team, so our threshold is not there to call that a foul at this point, but we don't want to ignore it. During the next dead ball period, I find number 34.
From the basket, you can't push them underneath the basket. Okay?
So now I'm letting number 34 know, yes, we saw that. We don't want you continuing to displace, to back down, back out to gain an advantage. So we now have the trail official tapping his chest when we're underneath 1 minute or 30 seconds and we feel the team on offense is going to take the last second shot. This is a signal and a cue that I, as the trail official and 2-person, have the last second shot, because we want to prevent one official counting the basket while the other official waves it off.
Last second shot and 2-person is always a trail official. So I talked to 34 Green.
So you ever wonder what officials
So I talked
talk
to
about?
34 Green.
About
I
the
said-
screens or about his offensive?
Offensive. Haven't got to the screens yet. So I said, hey, we're going to protect you, make sure they don't walk into you. You can't put them underneath the basket. So if you put them underneath the basket, we're just going to go charge.
So now, not only did I communicate with 34, I communicate with my partner, again, trying to bring crew consistency, game consistency to prevent escalation of physical play. Now, from a game management standpoint, the first quarter went nice and smooth, not a lot of fouls, and now let's see how coaches will change the way they play the game, because not a lot of fouls were called in the first quarter.
Going forward. Hit. White. Contacting while moving forward. Good, no call. Lost verticality with the arm did not hit the shooter. Body was straight up. Pointer jumped into the straight up body.
Foul number 2 in the first 28 seconds.
All right. Easy, easy, don't displace.
So now, knowing that we have a little bit more intensity, a little bit more contact, a little bit more preventive officiating, letting players know we are watching the action.
Going down 20. You can't roll into the person you're screening. White 20, moving while screening.
All right, so let's take a look at that again to see if what the official said is what happened. So we have number 20 on top here, and the defender not switching, but trying to get underneath this screen and stay with number 10. As number 1 was trying to get underneath, the screener kept on boxing him out. This was not a defensive switch. Coaches and officials, the more a defensive team does not switch on screens, the more set that screener has to remain to allow the defense to go under or over completely on that screen. If you screen and quote-unquote roll into the same person who was defending and wants to keep defending, get the first big illegal screen to get it out of the game. To prevent future illegal screens, get the first one. So now foul number 4
There we go.
in the first 50 seconds of the second quarter.
So we got 4 fouls in 50 seconds. Well, make the players adjust. Doesn't matter the foul count. If we stop calling fouls, then they keep on doing it. That's when the game gets out of control and somebody can get hurt.
So officials watching this, yes, the first quarter was clean, but now the coaches have coached, hey, let's play more aggressive. We have fouls to give. When that happens, we have to call fouls. If we don't, the players are going to continue to escalate and foul harder, and that's when potential rough play can happen and leading to injury. So we have to adjust to the game as much as the game and players have to adjust to us calling the game.
20 shooter. 20 shooter.
So good job there as the non-calling official. We know we are in two-shot bonus now. So the non-calling official is going to get the shooter's number, so we do not miss who is going to be the correct free throw shooter, because the calling official is really focused on who fouled.
So once white pen's on the ground, he doesn't have legal guarding position. So any impeding is a block. Tuck that shirt in real quick.
So what that official was saying
All right, guys, bonus, 2
is
free
you
throws.
have to
Less
have
on the
2
first
feet
one.
on the ground facing the opponent to have legal guarding position. Once he fell to the ground, he's now at risk because he's in illegal defending position, and it affected the dribbler. Foul. Now we're going to take a look at a foul and then a coach's perspective of threshold of foul and explaining to the coach why the foul had to be called.
Got to push. 14 shooter going down. 14 shooting 2. Green 34. 2-hand displacement. The rebound, I wouldn't call the foul. It went off the 14's leg out of bounds. We can't give the other team the ball on a foul. Hold on. 2 shots. 2 shots. So what's that? Yep. Which then this allowed them to get the free rebound. They lose the ball. If they would have got the rebound, no foul. But they weren't able to do what they were looking to do.
So that was number 34's third foul of the game. Did I, as the official, want to call that third foul and have him potentially be subbed out and go to the bench? No. As stated, if number 14 was able to get the rebound the way he wanted to, I was not going to call a foul on number 34. But I can't pass on that contact and give Green the ball because it went out of bounds on number 14. And it's okay to have those conversations with the coach and the players. They might not agree with it, but it helps them understand the processing that goes through in officials' judgment of incidental contact did not prevent normal basketball movement, illegal contact, it prevented the rebound. We can't pass on a foul and give you the ball. So as we saw at the end of the first quarter, now let's take a look at the mechanic and use of a whistle when the shot is not going to count when the horn expires. And what that does, it prevents the whole situation that the ball goes in, everybody's celebrating, and then the official waves it off. So you want to come in strong and hard, wave it off right away to prevent confusion. So now, let's see what officials do at halftime with the scores table.
All right, arrow switch, 29-32 in the book.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And again, just a small preventive officiating. If there is an error, let's correct the error right away, but clear the team fouls, confirm the score is correct, and make sure that arrow is going to be facing the right way when we come back out from the locker room. So if you remember back, first quarter, not a lot of fouls, clean game. Second quarter, it was a very long quarter. We had about 18 fouls total. Now we're a minute and a half into the game. Fouls are 0-0. Doing our work early so they play cleaner later. Let's take a look at this play and how the defense doesn't want to foul and adjust the way they play defense. And that's exactly what we need the defense to do. The head and shoulders got passed. They didn't continue to go into the shooter. He did not continue to take him off the straight line path. He got beat, so he let him go by and just stayed vertical. Again, it was the foul calling in the second quarter that prevented him from going through the shooter, trying to block it, fouling him, taking him to the ground. Calling the fouls is going to prevent the rough escalated play. So here's another play and reaction we get all the time. Kick! Let's be the judge. Is this a kickball or not, and why?
He passed it off his leg. He was already in the air.
And that official's actually saying that to the green player who had the reaction and wanted the kickball call. Again, as an official, we can aid in player development. Not saying the judgment was 100% right or wrong, but we're giving them a rule of why the judgment was the way it was. In my judgment, the leg did not go towards the ball. The ball was passed into the leg. Now, earlier in the game, during the second quarter, the players were getting kind of fresh, so we were calling fouls, and we said, guys, just stop them with your torso. Do not use your hands, arms, hips, shoulders to stop the dribbler. Use your torso. Do the players adjust? Let's take a look.
That time 20 stayed in front, stopped him with his torso, which is exactly what we want the defense to do. Stop him with the torso, not the hands and arms.
And there were two defenders that stopped him with their torsos. Again, if we talk and educate the players, they will adjust with us. So good defense, by allowing the defense to stop them with the torso, don't only let them know what they're doing wrong, let them know what they can do to avoid a foul. Not what they have to do, but what they can do. Educate, don't coach.
Another good example, stop him with the torso. No, head and shoulders pass. Underneath. Red 10 or white 10. Block, creating contact. Number 10. Opponent went and got a layup. We would not have had a foul. But after the contact and the dribbler lost control of the basketball, preventing normal basketball movement, now we got to get the foul.
So that's explaining the threshold of it's not the contact that's a foul, but what happens after the contact. He used his torso to create contact after the head and shoulders passed. It affected the dribble, potential shot. That's when it became a foul. Remember that green 34 where we asked them don't displace and back down your opponent underneath the basket? Let's see what 34 does here. Exactly what a post player needs to do. Stopped with the torso, does not displace and go through him, but stops, changes direction, goes around him, finger roll, point scored. Good job by the player, adjusting to the information given to him. This is a great play to show that yes, a player can go over the back of the opponent as so long as he doesn't land on him or displace him.
Good verticality by the postman. Let the guard jump into him.
Another great sequence of contact plays and why one is incidental and one is illegal and leads to a foul.
Illegal to reach over the back. Well, that's a perfect example. We're reaching over the back without contact or displacing the opponent. That's why it is legal to go over the back. Basket's good, guys. One shot.
And then the other foul was loss of verticality, jumping forward into the shooter, and that right arm coming down. Another preventive officiating point of the game, timeout, especially second half.
Timeout green. Always keep facing the players. Don't turn and look or ask until told them sit down. Full timeout. Coach Green, coach started.
So I didn't have to ask the coach, was it a full or 30? After the players cleared, got to the bench area, the green coach told their players to sit down. That tells me it's a full timeout. Got to dead ball officiate. Do not turn your back on players. Now let's take a look at two-person mechanic getting teams out of a timeout to prevent delaying the game.
Two-person, I'm going to get the team farthest away out first. First one, white. White ball, guys, white ball. Then I'm going to get the team nearest the ball. Try to save steps. And let's say if white was not out, I would just stay near half court to get him out.
And as we do that as a crew every single game, it's going to lead to consistent behavior. But we can't just stay at the middle of the court and allow teams to stay in the huddle as long as they want. We have to be proactive, communicate, and just talk to them. Don't yell at them. Don't scream at them. You talk to them, they're going to help you get the game started legally. A very unique play here in a 54-55 ball game, two-person or three-person mechanics. This is where we have to have game awareness, partner awareness. This official sees clear as day white is out of bounds, and he was touching the basketball while out of bounds. Partner, on the other side, whether this is three-person or two-person, has a lot of bodies in the way and can't see the basketball. So with slow timing, we could get this right.
White's out of bounds, touching the basketball. Give me green.
So that might be one of the plays. It's very rare, but if the calling official can't see it and there's a lot of other people in the gym that can clearly see it, step up, have the courage, make the right call. Have a slow cadence whistle, have the calling official have first shot at it, but if he doesn't blow it and you know it is, blow the whistle and get the call right.
Going forward, initiating.
Consistency.
White two, moving forward, initiating.
Foul in the first 30 seconds of the game. It's going to be the foul in the last 3 minutes of the game in a close game.
Don't push off, please. Both of you. Don't push off of each other.
Again, as we get closer to the end of the game, a little bit more emotion, a little bit more contact. If we can use our voice to prevent escalation, let's do it. After the push-off, neither one was at a disadvantage. Play on, but do not ignore the behavior. Let them know you're watching and still officiating.
Taking them away. You can't go forward into them, young man. Green one. Walk, take them away.
Once again, same threshold, same foul, both sides of the court, with an explanation to the players to give them what they could do to change and adjust. So now we are in the last minute of a 60-56 ball game. Clock is important. Off-ball official, you have to have clock awareness.
Off ball, look at the clock. 41.1, 41.2. Human error. We're not going to put 0.1 back on the clock. We always allow 0.3 human error.
And that is the Federation rule and philosophy. 41.1, 41.2, we're not going to correct. We're looking for 0.3 or more clock error to change the clock. And that goes with 0.3 tip versus 0.4 catch and shoot. This is a good job of officiating all the way to the end of the game. Two-hand shove. Green number one.
Guys.
Have to get that foul. Good job of getting the two-hand push on
the rebound. It doesn't take much to propel him away from the lane when he's airborne. He's not going to go that far away from the basket on his own. Ball.
I got help.
game is over. Get off the court. No need to stay and fraternize with anybody. Another game down, another game in the books. Thank you once again for taking time out with Premier Sports Officials Association. Whether you're a player, a coach, a spectator, or official, hopefully this full game management video helps you understand there's a lot more that goes into officiating, judgment, what is not a foul, but the importance and power of calm, poised communication with partners, with coaches, with players to prevent rough physical play. Let's stay strong throughout the remainder of the season to officiate with thick skin, having poise and calmness to understand the emotions that are going to go into a game and using our communication skills to prevent escalation of physical play, unsporting language, and unsporting behavior. Let's do our part to have a great end of the season. Officials, remember, you're only as good as your last call.